So we are here with Rizky Arrydesta. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm fine, and it's good to see you too, guys. And it's a
Great.
lovely
Thank you
interview.
very much. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
start the interview. So yes, you are the
hmm
lead artist of
hmm
Yasuka, and it's
Yes.
kind of described as a emotional, action-packed, dark fantasy manga. Yeah,
Yes. Yes. That's
great.
that's quite summarize the genre quite a lot actually.
Yeah, great.
hmm
And so can you tell us a bit about Yasuka? Like, what is the main premise of it?
Um. Well, yeah. Yasuko actually revolve in the life of the main character Yasuka, where she is actually the daughter of the historical black samurai that live in Japan in the 16th century. But yes, it will follow her life as the world change from the historical settings into more fantastical settings and more uh, what should I call it? More dark realm, if you say it.
Yeah.
Well, if you're fans of of games like Dark Souls or
Ooh.
Sekiro, you might like it. You might like it.
Yeah. Well, Lee, you're a fan of them, aren't you?
Well, I'm a fan of.
Actually, I don't play them.
I played Ghost of Tsushima not long ago, so and that's
Yes.
based around samurai culture, and
hmm
yeah, so I am actually looking forward to reading this. To be honest,
hmm Yeah.
That sounds like a really cool story. Like you've got a preview of is it like part of the first chapter on the Kickstarter page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Well, actually, it's not sort of as the first chapter, but more as a prologue
Oh, okay.
to introduce the reader about what we will offering them later on, because the story is quite actually the story progress is quite slow paced but steady. So um, we talk, the writer and I, Kobayashi and I talk, and some reader might not into the slow pacing and stuff like that. So why don't we give them a taste of uh, of what they will get later on in the main part of the story, and
Right.
that's how the prologue comes into the creation.
Oh,
oh,
okay. Great. So,
that's great.
um, you and Kobayashi, you've worked
hmm
together. He was the writer, you're the lead artist.
hmm
Have you worked together before? Is there a good dynamic between you both?
no, we haven't worked together before. We only met, not actually met in person, but we met online in last year. So we know
Okay.
each other for a year now.
Okay,
And
that's
do you
cool.
work well together? Is it a good little, dynamic between you both?
Well, we work well, but of course there's always be bumps and obstacles, especially since we live in different
Yeah.
time zone and different hemisphere of the earth, and those kind of problem always exist. So yeah, we got a pretty good dynamic, but
Good.
yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like me and Liam, like I tell him what to do, he does it, and then everything's great. And yeah, we work
hmm
really well together because he just does what I say.
Yeah, very true.
Uh, Liam, you've taken a look at the Kickstarter. What do you think of it? Is there anything on there that kind of interests you in it?
It's like I said, after playing Ghost of Tsushima not long ago, and then coming across this Kickstarter, um, it just grabbed my attention straight away. Like because it's like looking into samurai culture, the beginning stages of like looking into it and getting interested in it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's what stands out for me.
Yeah. That's
hmm
yeah, like actually, like looking at the the designs and stuff of these characters, so like Yasuka and the other main characters that you've drawn. So like I've seen the concept arts on the Kickstarter. You know, everyone can go ahead and see that, but they look so cool. What kind of what kind of inspirations did you have to to help you with designing the main characters and the monsters and creatures and stuff you get in the book as
Mhm.
well?
Well, actually, rather than what to do or what to draw, I actually pick the approach of what not to draw or what to do,
Right.
because
Yeah.
Yasuka actually, uh, I am the third person to handle Yasuka, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
been on the other artists before.
Oh
But
wow.
their interpretation, yes, but their interpretation way off from the mark, um, we have historical settings in here. So Yaska's supposed to be set in the 16th century, in the 1500s, but but the artists before me draw it only based on their research with popular culture, which mainly took in 1800 and 1900.
Yeah.
So the design looks very off-putting, because that's not the age of samurai. That's the end of the age of the samurai. So
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, I talked to Kobayashi about that, and he just realized it that time too. So okay, so he gave me time to do some research. I do some research. I do a lot of I put a lot of attention in, especially in how samurai wore their yoroi, the armor, how they're handling the blades, how they're handling the katanas, and actually I consult to a weapon specialist as well, and I consult about the historical or the, yeah, more historical figures of the ninjas, and based from the historical reference that I gather, then I design the character
Wow.
altogether. Yeah. And as
That.
for the
Yeah.
monster, as for the monster, the yokai, I look I look for, because they're part of the Japanese culture. Yokai always been there. Yokai is really famous, especially in anime and manga right now. So
Yeah.
I took research on the root of the yokai, what phenomenon that started them, what legends that took them into being, and I look at their original traditional illustration, and then I took more modern approach to make them more updated and more modern, and that's how I came up with the design.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think. Go on. We're going to say something, Lee.
I just said that's awesome.
Oh. Yeah. It is. It does sound awesome. I mean, the fact that you've gone and done this a massive amount of research. You've spoken to a weapons an expert,
Yes.
and you've studied figures and how they're all how they're all using the sword and stuff. That just sounds really cool. And you definitely seem to have some sort of like this dedication to making Yaska like absolutely brilliant. Like the kind of the panels I've seen where there's like action involved
Hmm.
just look fantastic. And like
Thank you.
out of the few pages that I've seen, I can already see like, well, I can already want in myself that I would love to see this as a TV show, like the kind of action scenes that you
Yeah.
have in there. I can just visualize and imagine it just looking fantastic as a TV show.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you're working on, well, like okay. Are you working on some other projects? Okay, because I know you've got
Hmm.
Candala, which is that how it's pronounced, or
Yes.
Candala?
uh Chandala.
Okay, so
is
that is
Candala. Yes.
that's so that's your personal little project there, and how is that going?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Candala is actually Kobayashi found me from Candala.
Oh,
So
wow.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
yeah. Uh, Candala is actually my. It started as a revenge project because
Okay.
this because believe it or not, the script is rejected several times by
Oh
the local
wow.
publisher. Yes, uh, they don't like it. It doesn't suit the style of the comic industry in Indonesia that time, because
Right.
that time people more interested in romance and comedy webtoon.
Right.
And while I'm offering something that gritty, dark, and and
Yeah.
horrifying,
Little bit of
so
a contrast. Yeah.
yeah, a really big contrast. The thing that triggers me is that one of the CEO of the publisher told me that you're not gonna make it. You people won't read this. So that
Oh.
started the kind of revenge thing. Okay, I'm gonna show him. So
Yeah. Okay.
I just draw it and post it online, and just using Patreon to fund it. But
Yeah.
yes, it's going quite well. It's climbing steadily, but it's really taking a lot of time to work even one chapter, because I'm only working on it alone, and can only work on Chandala with my spare time.
Yeah.
And by the level of the design in Chandala, it took almost like a few months to even finish one chapter.
Wow.
So yeah, I actually wanted to give Yasuka the same treatment, but it will took a really long time to even finish one volume if I do it like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming back to Yaska then,
Mhm.
obviously you have your passions with Chandler and stuff, but like, what kind of drew you to what drew you to draw for Yaska? Um, yeah, so what attracted you
uh,
about that?
yeah. Actually, what attracted me about Yasuka, it's striking to me because the first time that I wanted to make an action manga is when I read Rurouni Kenshin. I don't know what it's called in your country, but the movie just came out. So uh, in here in Indonesia, they publish it as Samurai X, Rurouni
Okay.
Kenshin. Yeah, and looking at that manga, it really striking to me that it inspired me actually to make a action manga. And that's how I learned how to draw action manga as well. I study the pages, I study, and it's a samurai setting manga with a lot of sword fighting and really creative way of storytelling. So I and Yasuka reminds me of it, and especially when Kobayashi added the fantastical aspect of it.
Hmm.
Okay, this has got better because I love to draw fight. I love to draw actions, and I love to draw monsters as well. So I love it in the same package. So
Great.
why
Yeah,
not?
it's yeah, it sounds fantastic. What kind of um, what kind of stuff did you watch as a kid? Growing up, was this the kind of stuff you were into? Did you enjoy this kind of genre when you were growing up?
Actually, I'm the type of guy that doesn't fix into one genre. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm the type of guy that willing to try the new genre and then decided if I like it or not.
Okay.
So I often just pick a random title of manga and just read it, and okay, this is interesting and something. And but the one that lasting in my memories, that's what influenced me.
Yeah,
Like
of course.
Rurouni Kenshin, Berserk, and
That's a big one.
yeah, that's a really big one. And um, I don't know if you know this, but the mangaka is named Sei Ito. So his work is not a lot of his work is translated in English, but
Right.
his drawing is awesome and really really incredible. And also a lot of more artists that I read and I studied, and yeah, so I cannot pinpoint one definite source that influenced me the most, because if I should describe how my how my childhood is, it's like a hot pot of manga all jumbled together. And
Was.
yeah, and I actually have a what do you call it, part-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah, part-time job at a manga cafe.
Oh,
So
cool.
Wow.
So
yeah,
I so I bet you get a lot of
so
like spare
yeah,
time to, you can just pick up anything you want and just give it a read.
yes, and that's how most of my high school years went, because I work part-time in the manga cafe. I contribute to the manga cafe too, and I teach manga too over there. So
Wow.
that's how I got my interest strong in manga.
Nice. Great.
Mhm,
Um, when it when you said earlier on with Yaska, you were the third artist to come in to
mhm.
draw it. What happened to the other two?
Okay, so well, Kobayashi didn't tell me the details, but the first one, just vanished, I think, if you call
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah, just went poof. And
Oh,
the second one, they didn't contact him again, because I don't know, maybe something happened to them, but well, we never know. So
oh,
yeah,
it's a
I'm the third
mystery.
one. Yeah, it's a mystery.
Da, da,
They
da.
they just suddenly went away.
Wow. Oh, I wonder what happened. I wonder what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think, but the sounds of it then. So like,
Mhm.
Yaska, she has. Is it a father called Yasuke?
Yes, yes, okay.
Yeah. And does he have his own like previous stories that people
Mm.
can find? Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
okay. And
Okay.
was it kind of did have you read them previously? Did you have to did you have to read these to get your research, or was it more Kabayashi read them and then kind of developed the script around it, and then you kind of went off like how
Mhm.
did it how did it go?
Okay, so maybe it's better if I told in chronological order. With
Okay.
so Kobayashi only know Yasuke from the gist of the historical figure. So he's a real person.
Okay.
He's a real person. But most popular media trans dub him as the first black samurai, first African samurai
Wow.
in
Yeah.
Japan. Yeah, and most of them only tell that premise. So most of them only tell he's the first African black samurai in Japan, and he served under Oda Nobunaga, and he's taught as a really strong man with a huge stature. But okay, uh, Kobayashi give me the premise of the story. Hold on a bit. I'm having a lag in my mind. So
That's okay.
and it's itching. It's itching because I'm the kind of the a geek, you know.
Yeah.
If I
Us
given
too.
some material, yeah. If I'm given some material, I will spend like 2 to 3 hours for researching about it, the history, the timing, the time period, how did they do it, what happened, and So after I dig it and give my finding to Kobayashi, he even surprised that because I give him something that he doesn't even know.
Oh,
That is, Yasuke is actually a slave that been traded as a gift to Oda Nobunaga, and Oda Nobunaga thought it as a fraud because it's impossible for a human to be this black. And so they told,
wow.
so he ordered his servant to wash Yasuke away, but he cannot be cleaned. and
Yeah.
and then he asked Yasuke to prove his strength because with a sumo match, and he
Okay.
won. He won
Wow.
against all of Oda Nobunaga's mightiest warrior. And after a few months living with Oda Nobunaga, he climbed his rank really fast, became his personal arms retainer. So it's really really trusted position. If you describe it, he's like the left hand person of Oda Nobunaga. So he must be at the side of Oda Nobunaga all time. And which question me why? Why
Yeah.
did someone, a slave, came to be someone so important to, you can imagine it as a king. And so I found out after I dig several historical records that the time Yasuke came by, there's almost around 27 assassination attempt to Oda Nobunaga in various location and places that you won't you you just won't it won't came out in your mind, the craziest thing that ninja can do. Some even hid
Yeah.
inside a toilet for three
What?
days just to stab the right person
What?
in the butt.
In the
Yeah,
butt.
that's that's a real historical fact that I found, and Oda Nobunaga is stressed about that, and he killed several spies that um, infiltrate his ranks. So it came to his mind that it's impossible for Yasuke to be a spy because he
Yeah.
just came by from other land and he got no connection with other person. So then he became the left hand man of Oda Nobunaga at that time. But but um, after a year serving Oda Nobunaga, Oda Nobunaga got trapped in an enemy trap. So basically, there's a traitor in his rank, and Oda Nobunaga is led to a path to Honoji Temple, and that they set the temple on fire. And
Wow.
Yasuke is there trying to fight all of the enemy that try to barge in all by himself. So it's a heroic deed of himself to do that. But Oda Nobunaga feel that it's no hope, and so he killed himself to protect his honor. And after that, Yasuke came back to protect the heir, the son of Oda Nobunaga. But he's too late. His son is also killed, and then that's where the is history about Yasuke is gone. There's no more
Right.
historical record about it. So then Kobayashi and I came up with, so what if we make the concept of this story as, what if Yasuke did save Oda Nobunaga from the
Right.
temple and he became a hero, and then he made a family of his own and then had a daughter, and that's how Yasuka came by.
Okay. So Yasuke is a real person, but Yasuka
Yes,
is fictional.
yes, it's fiction.
Yeah.
She
Well,
is fictional.
yeah. That's great. Like
Fantastic. That is.
I
That's a
like
great story. Like
yeah.
the history there, that is fantastic.
I
Yes,
mean it's
you won't believe the other crazy stuff that I find. Uh, well, assassination in toilet is one thing, but yeah, there are more crazy stuff out there. And when I read the translation of the transcript is just seriously they did that. They
Wow.
killed people with that, and it worked.
That's that is crazy. Like so, like I really like to to read and learn about like Greek mythology, and that I know that stuff isn't real, but the kind of stupid things that they get up to and how they
Yeah.
kill each other, it is stupid, and you're like, what? But to know that what you've just said really happened,
Mhm.
that's also like, what? How can you hide in a toilet for 3 days?
Yeah, the
That's mad.
determination.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is fantastic. But no, like, but I think now, like, for everyone, for me and Lee listening, and for everyone watching, this will, well, for me, that's kind of spurred me on a little bit now
Yeah,
to
definitely.
really push myself to
Mhm,
buy this even more, because
Yeah.
to know that this is, loosely based on an actual historical figure,
mhm.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, Lee, is there anything else you'd like to say?
I don't think so.
Don't
I
think so.
can't think of anything. You've covered everything, Scott, to be honest.
Thank you very much. Rizky, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, support Yasuka in the
Yes, of
Kickstarter.
course.
So
Yeah,
yeah. So we can
the
make this happen. Yeah,
yes,
so we can make
100%.
this happen.
The Kickstarter ends on the 31st of August at
Mhm,
5:41 in the UK AM. That is, and if you want the physical copy, it will cost you about £22.
mhm.
Digitals will be between £8 and £15, depending on what tier you go for. But yes, please do go ahead and support Yaska. Or all of the information and links will be in the description of this video. And yeah, Risky, we really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, been fantastic.
So do I. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, and
Mhm.
see you later. Bye bye.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
See you
Bye.
later.
See ya.